What is up, everybody? Today I'm back. I'm going to be making a video on winter tackle here today. So I got my stuff, some of my stuff here. I'll be showing you guys 5 or 6 baits, not in any particular order on how good they are, but just some baits that you guys can use to help you catch more bass in the winter. Alright guys, before we get into the video, just make sure you hit that like button and subscribe down below if you enjoy this video. But as you can see here, I've got a bunch of baits laid out that I like to use in the winter. And we got some jerk baits here, deep diving crankbaits, a couple soft plastics, some swim jigs, and a couple different rigs that you can use as well. So let's go ahead and dive into those. Alright guys, so the first bait I'm going to be talking to you guys about is the deep diving crankbaits and jerk baits. I'm going to combine them just so I can make the video a little bit shorter. And so these are a little bit more faster moving baits, obviously, compared to your finesse or anything like that you would want slow moving on the bottom. But jerk baits, definitely a good winter bait because you can control how fast you want to go. You know, you can go in a sort of like sequence or just jerk it a couple times and pause. And then the crankbaits, of course, you're going to get down deep quick, and then you're going to hear those rattles. And then also throw a lipless crankbait in here. You can let it fall to whatever depth you want, actually, and you can fish it almost like a jerk bait. You know, you can reel it for a while and let it pause and sink back down. But these crankbaits, these deep diving crankbaits, are going to just mostly be reeling at a constant pace, and they'll go down deeper, and then eventually you'll probably end up fishing them on the bottom and get down to those deep fish, and they'll hear those rattles and hopefully be attracted to that. Alright guys, another bait that you can use is the jig. You know, I got swim jigs here or just regular finesse jigs with crawls on the back, and you can use a swim jig if you want, and just fishing on the bottom and reel it. If the fish are feeling more lethargic though, not wanting to chase baits, slow moving, lazy, just get a regular jig and you can put a crawl on or even like a worm or anything. And then they normally have these hook protectors to keep the brush. You can take them through brush or cover, grass, whatever you need to take them through. And these, you can move them slow, you can twitch them and pause, you can fish these however you want. So it's a very versatile bait to use in the winter, and it's good to use on rocks, wood piles, anything. And some of them actually have rattles in them. I don't think any of these that I have laid out have rattles. But as you can see, I got just some brown or black and blue. This one's actually a little bit purple, and this one's just like a green pumpkin, I think that's what that's called. And then this one's a little bit lighter. And here in a little bit I'll show you some trailers that you can use, good brands that I like to use as my trailers for my jigs or other styles of baits. Alright guys, so next up I'm going to do the Texas rigs or the Wacky Rig soft plastics. So as you can see here, I've got a bullet weight with a Texas Rig Bandito Bug by Guggen Baits, and then you can use Texas Rig worms as well, or even a bigger finesse bait like the Trench Hog here. And these are good to take through cover because you bury the hook back into the plastic. If you guys don't know how to do a Texas rig, I'll show you guys really quickly. So this is the Guggen Baits Trench Hog here. So how you're going to want to do this is take your hook point, take it just a little bit through the head, poke it through right there, and then feed your head up to the eye of the hook, and from where it is, you just twist it over to where your hook point is going back into it. Going to pull a little bit of extra and then just take it through the bait. Have that hook pop out on the other side, and then like I said, take that hook, bury it back into the plastic so it doesn't get caught in brush, and then there you go. And it actually gives the bait really good action. Obviously in the water this would be free floating. These flanges here would be going crazy, definitely attracting some fish. The Texas rig is a really good way to fish deep, and you can fish it just like the jigs You can do it slow, you can do it fast. The way this actually works with this bullet weight here, I got it on line because the bullet weight has to stay on there, but it'll dive down to the bottom, and once you pull it up, it'll do like a diving, so it'll move up and down the water column, definitely attracting some bass. And if they're down deeper, Texas rig with a bullet weight is the way to go. And I also have a wacky rig. I actually don't have this one rigged up on the line, but I'll show you guys the basic idea. So I actually have a minnow here, and normally I use these for spinnerbait trailers, but I'm going to be using this for a wacky rig. And this is a really good winter bait. You take the hook, a smaller hook normally, just through the head there, and then that gives the back really good action. And you would actually tie your line here, and then do like a tag end, and then the bait actually goes like this in the water, and this weight brings it down, but it's not all the way on the bottom, so you can adjust that height to the actual water depth that the fish will be in. And like I said, I'm using a minnow for this, but you can use just a regular Senko, or you can even use a crawl or anything, any soft plastic creature bait, anything you want. But you just take it through like that, and then that hook is there like that, and your bullet weight, or not your bullet weight, your drop shot weight keeps it down, and then it'll just float whatever depth you have it set at. Alright guys, to finish up this video, I'm going to be talking about the trailers / soft plastics you can use to capitalize on fishing and catch those bass that you're chasing. Alright, so started off, we got some crawls. These are by Biospawn, the BioBugs. I've got 3 different kinds of Biospawn baits here. The minnow trailer, great for spinner baits, but also Texas rigs, wacky rigs, anything you want to use this for. These Exo Swims are 4 inches. They are great to use. As you can see, I've been using them. And also just a stick bait here. Open this up so you guys can actually see this. So these are great for wacky rigs. You can actually pinch this off on these little segments. If I can get it here, there you go. That's what these are all made for. You can see that. And these are great for wacky rigs and also Texas rigs. So the bait just moves so freely in the water, definitely attracting some bass. Let me just put this back in here real quick. And so if you guys are looking for a good company to buy from, Biospawn is definitely the way to go. These are just a couple of the baits here, but they got crawls, stick baits, and your minnow trailers. Alright, so now that we got Biospawn out of the way, the Rage Tail, honestly, this is probably my favorite crawl brand. See, this is the Candy Crawl color, I think. Yep, Candy Crawl color. These are 4 inches. I think these are 3-inch crawls, so they have a lot of different sizes. You've probably heard of Rage Tail before. They make all kinds of baits, but the crawls here, what I'm talking about today, Texas rigs or jig trailers, these are great. Let me just go ahead and open one up here so you guys can go ahead and see this actually. This Candy Crawl color I've really come to like. So the body is good length, and you also have your crawls there, excuse me. And these are really good for Texas rigs. That's what I use them normally for, but I think I actually have one on a jig trailer down here. It's not the exact same thing, but you can use them as a jig trailer like I've got there, and they work good for that as well. So like I said, Rage Crawl, great brand for crawls. Did I say Rage Crawl? Rage Tail, sorry guys. Rage Tail, definitely a good brand for crawls. And they make a lot of other baits. I'm not saying they don't make good other baits. I'm just saying I use them for crawls, and I really like them. They're actually very durable. Let's go ahead and talk about our next bait. They're very durable compared to these Googan baits here. I like Googan baits. I like the Googan Squad. But the Bandito bugs, I fish them a lot. and they just seem like after a couple fish you catch on them, they start to lose some of their arms or flanges, however you want to say it. But this is actually the Kraken Crawl here. Another good one for Texas rig or jig trailers. You guys can see this here. This is a watermelon flake. So I think these are just 4 inches long, pretty basic. And then the Bandito bug is more of a bigger profile. If I can get this open here. They're very slimy. That's why my hands would not open that. But the Bandito bug here, this is the, what color is this? The blue baby I've got here. So as you can see, much bigger profile, and these crawls actually come jointed. So that is actually for a jig trailer, and it just stays more like thinner, I guess you could say. It doesn't have as much action. And then you actually just break this little thing here apart, and then you use it. That's when you can use it for a Texas rig. Gives it much more action, and all these are actually jointed here. So you just pull those apart, giving the bait much more action. You can see compared to the front and the back, if you were to jig that, how much different action you get from that. And then of course in the water, like I said earlier, these baits are going to be going crazy because of zero gravity. Alright, so let me put these up really quick. Trying to keep the tackle box organized. Alright, we'll get this later. So we got all those out of the way. Let me throw these down here. The X-Zone crawl here. And we have one left. 2 left, sorry. These are good to use. These are a little bit smaller, and I mainly use them for a jig trailer. They make a great jig trailer, guys. Check that out. Not as big of a profile as the Bandito bugs, and they're a little bit smaller, but you still have some of the added features, I guess, on the side. Not sure how to word that, but it's a little bit smaller. Great for a jig trailer. And then we got the Doomsday Tackle Company all here. I use these for jig trailers all the time. They're very small. The body is extremely small, and then the actual pinchers here a little bit bigger. But I don't even use this for a Texas rig at all. I use it strictly for jig trailers. And I did have one of those rigged up. Here we go, on a jig here. That one's actually coming apart because I've fished it so much. But yes, Doomsday Tackle Company crawls here. They are great for jig trailers. And then of course, you got your Zoom. These aren't crawls, these are just some finesse worms I have. Very bright, as you can see there. This would be a good wacky rig. No, not wacky rig. Drop shot. Sorry. Drop shot. As you can see, just a lot of action with that split tail. You get more action, and or even a Texas rig. I shouldn't just say drop shot, but that's a lot of action there. And then your weights here for the Texas rig. If you want to get down deeper, you're going to want to use a bullet weight here. These are just some old ones I have. If I can get one out, they're very small. I use bigger ones, but these are just what I'm using here. As you can see, pretty small, but it's actually quite heavy for the size. I don't know if these are, I don't think these are tungsten. I don't think these are tungsten, but they make tungsten ones, which are very expensive actually. And let me grab my, I have a drop shot weight. There it is. Then you got your drop shot weight, pretty basic. And normally I just tie a little knot to this little eye here, and then run that off a tag end of the wacky rig. Why do I keep saying wacky rig, guys? Sorry. The drop shot, run piece of the line off the tag end of the knot, which I use a clinch knot. Not sure what knot you guys use, but I use a clinch knot, and then I can just run a tag end off of that straight into the drop shot. Boom, the weight stays on the bottom. The bait is whatever depth you want. You can adjust it. The closer it is, the easier it is to fish, and then that bait can just hover in whatever water column you want it to hover in. So I think that is it for today's video, guys. Make sure to comment down below what videos you would like to see, or if you have any questions about a bait or anything that you want to ask me, or any video suggestions. Comment that down below. Hit the red subscribe button. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys later.